Hello and welcome to another episode of the Dribble Me Softly podcast, the podcast that you didn't know that you need to know. How are you both?
Good.
Happy New Year.
Is it?
For some of us.
Fuck yeah, it's a Happy New Year. 100%.
Not all of us.
How you boys doing?
Good, mate. Good, considering.
Considering what?
I guess we'll get into it.
Yeah, due to Arsenal's fortunes, we now turn this into a cricket podcast.
Yes, happy retirement, David Warnock.
I don't know what I've done here. This is hell.
We can go all day here, mate. Let's go.
Yeah, for the listeners who have been with us for the journey so far, you're all familiar with Dylan, the Liverpool fan, who has not stopped smiling since he's seen us. This is the first time we've all seen each other this year.
Yep.
Don't know how I feel about it.
Top of the morning to you, lads.
Oh, God. Well, on that note, what's coming up on today's episode?
Well, considering it's the first one in a couple of weeks since that we're recording, quite a bit to get through. So plenty to recap across Europe during the festive season. Arsenal back to their natural position in fourth place. We'll talk a bit about that. Considering it's January and the transfer market's open, we'll talk a bit about transfers.
All this and more next.
Cool.
So, lots has happened since we've last spoken. But my big question to kick off this review is, why does football hurt?
Because we're Arsenal fans.
Why does football hurt, Ben? Because it doesn't hurt to me. Not right now, anyways. It has in the past, but not right now.
It's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it?
It is an emotional roller coaster. What? So last time we did a podcast,
Arsenal were top of the league.
yeah. And now where Daddy Wenger loved to have us.
Fourth place.
Yeah. What's happened?
You tell me.
Well, I guess like to recap, since we've been gone, Man City have come out of their slump, won their little Club World Cup. Liverpool are probably the finest attacking machine in Europe at present. Definitely the Premier League. Aston Villa
Kicking on.
cooled off a little bit. Man U's the continued yo-yo. Chelsea, I don't know what we're going to get. Where do we start?
Well, the one team that you didn't say is Spurs, which is interesting because when you look at the table, they're only 6 points adrift of Liverpool.
Let's start, I can't believe I'm about to say this, in a happier place. Let's talk about Spurs.
Spuds.
They're only a point behind Arsenal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Played 20 games.
How tight is this league, though? What, Liverpool 45? Well, at time of recording, Liverpool's 45 points. And Tottenham in fifth is on 39 points.
And City's on 40, but with a game in hand too, right?
Yeah, really. So let's assume they win the game in hand. They'll shoot up to second place, 2 points adrift from Liverpool, and clear in second on 43.
Have you guys played them yet? Oh, yeah, you did.
We did,
You
yeah,
said.
1-1.
to a 1-1 draw, yeah. But they need to come to Anfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we still need to go to the Emirates.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
only 3 games away.
Yeah, it is.
So Arsenal will play next Palace, then at home to Palace, away at Nottingham Forest, and then we have Liverpool at to the Emirates.
Interesting.
To be fair, it doesn't matter because we're just going to beat ourselves at this point.
It depends on what's going to happen in this window, right? Well, it doesn't depend on that. You'd like to think we have some players within the team that can finally do something, not finally, but they can like pick their socks up a bit. But
Before we get onto the tragedy that is Arsenal, let's just go back to Spurs for a sec, because like they had a great start to the season, then they fell off a cliff due to injuries and suspensions and whatnot, but they've quietly been going about their work.
Yeah, well, Richarlison's been scoring for them as well. Well, Son's just gone to Asia Cup, so it'll be interesting. Yeah. They haven't, there's been a couple of convincing wins, but also a couple is a bit touch and go. But they're definitely, I don't know, they're just staying true to who they are. They've got an identity.
yeah,
We could probably touch on United after this, but Ange has come in and they've got a clear identity in a way that they play. Like, even if it can be a bit suicidal in defensive terms, just kicking on. And with the injuries that they've had as well, which is crazy.
Matt is still not back yet?
Still not back, no. Their fast starts helped them, right? Because if they didn't have those first, 10 wins, they wouldn't be anywhere in touch with the top. And even now, after losing Son, they're getting busy in the window. They've already got Werner on loan.
Yep.
I'm guessing that's why. That's one of the main reasons they've got him. His son's gone for how long?
It's definitely a stopgap. Yeah, he's gone for a month. If obviously Korea progress all the way to the final.
Yeah,
which you assume that they probably would, because they're probably one of the stronger teams in Asia. But yeah, you would assume that Werner is a stopgap. It's an interesting one though, because obviously he had a torrid time at Chelsea and then went back to Leipzig. You look at the stats last season and he was actually banging goals in, but then you look at this season and he's not really done much.
Yeah.
But coming back to the Premier League with a point to prove, is he a better player than what he was when he left? What do you reckon?
I don't see it, but it'd be interesting. But you never know. The style is completely different. You've seen what Chelsea's done to number 9s in their graveyard for him the last few years.
It could be a bit of a reflection on Ange as a manager too. See if he gets him going as a player. You never know.
Will he play him through the centre or will he play him on the left? What do you reckon?
It depends. Who have they got on the left? And they got Richarlison, they play on the left?
Yeah, well, I guess they're interchangeable, right?
Well, Madison being injured, Son's been playing as the number 10 sometimes, or Kulusevski, and then Richarlison plays up top.
Yeah.
So they kind of alternate it.
That'll be interesting to see.
It's
and
good to
they've
have
got
that
some players coming back. I think Romero's coming back if he hasn't already. And I don't think Madison's too far away, to be honest.
Well, he's been out for quite a while now, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's probably missed like 10 games. Or maybe just under that.
Yeah, he's definitely not far away from coming back. I can't be bothered to look it up. But Tottenham's next few games as well, they got Man U at Old Trafford away. Well, obviously it's Old Trafford. That could be an interesting game. Then they're at home to Brentford. I think Tony might be back by then.
If he's not already been sold or on loan to another club.
I don't think
it's unlikely, yeah.
Yeah.
Brentford to keep.
Also, on a side note, quickly, he owes Brentford. They stuck by him. They haven't thrown him under the bus or done anything.
That's true.
So I think if he's going to move, it'll be in the summer.
That is facts, and he does have a very soft spot for Brentford.
I guess you could also look at him repaying Brentford with a big transfer fee too. I don't know. But as a player, for the club, you'd probably want to come in and do something.
Yeah, but saying that, this goes to show so if we just go back to the fixture list as well. So Tottenham after that, Everton away. Yeah, they're away at Everton, at home to Brighton, at home to Wolves, away to Chelsea. That's an underrated set of fixtures.
They only play one more Premier League game in January. So, when's the Asia Cup final?
Oh yeah,
because he might not even miss many fixtures as it is.
So when you put it in hindsight, the Werner gamble is really low risk.
Yeah, and it may not even be that related to the Son missing games.
It's on the 11th of Feb.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel pretty awkward about this, but part of me wants to see Werner do all right because it's a fuck you to Chelsea. But then if Werner does all right, Tottenham do all right.
So I think he would miss 4 games if they make it all the way through. So he'll miss Brighton at home, Everton away, Brentford at home, and then the United away. So 2 home, 2 away. See how they go.
Yeah. And on that note, should we now talk about the tragedy?
Yeah, let's go from 5th to 4th.
Because
where did it all
Gunners.
fall off? So we went to Anfield, 1-1 draw.
Do you look at that result firstly as 2 points lost or... Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's hard to look at a game at Anfield and say you drop 2 points rather than picking up a point.
Yeah.
It could have went either way. I thought 1-1 was fair.
Interesting, because I thought that you guys were lucky to get away with a point.
Just because the crossbar thing, but Martinelli spurned a decent chance as well. There's chances there, half chances that last year you would have seen Arsenal take.
Yep, I agree.
So I know what you mean, because you can look at it from your perspective or as a Liverpool fan's perspective and think that as well. But then you could also think same time last year you would, if that was the same Arsenal as last year, the way they attacked, then you would think, God, we could have also lost 3-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
So, my angst is the 1-1. I take it as an Arsenal fan. I thought happy with that, especially considering we do our legs go from us when we go to Anfield, poo ourselves. But,
that's true. Yeah.
But you were saying, oh, you worried about the West Ham game, and I said even for the West Ham game, I'm not worried about West Ham, I'm worried about Fulham. I was fucking correct with the Fulham thing.
Hell yeah, you were.
And West Ham didn't bother me because it was just like the amount of chances generated. The game is like defensive lapses and you don't take chances, you're going to lose a game. It's the Premier League. The Fulham one was like, there was no energy. Everyone looks zapped.
Yeah. Honestly, if you go further back, we just scraped the point. We just scraped through against Luton. Last minute of the game, we scored a goal to win it. Then we lose to Villa. Then we had the Brighton win. Then we draw to Liverpool. And then we've lost 2.
But the thing is...
we haven't picked up many points at all in December. In the 1st of Jan too.
That's horrific in terms of the output. But naive me was looking at it going, we're not actually playing that bad. Like when we went to Villa, we should have won. Like that high line was there for a taking.
Yeah. Villa just played a great game that day.
Yeah, they were in that little run where they beat City a few days before.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think that it just goes. I think that was the first warning sign. Was like even if Arsenal plays really well, they don't have the cutting edge. That was the first. But you think of it and you think, oh, okay, they're finally clicking. Then we had the Brighton game where it all clicked.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, that's what they can do. And then like it slowly regressed. You've gone to Liverpool, you've played all right. You could have gone either way. And then after that, it's been like played pretty well against West Ham, got spanked on the counter-attack or a super header by Mavropanos. And it's always going to happen, isn't it?
It's written like that at football, isn't it?
Yeah. And then you just end up with Fulham, which was the legs had gone as well. And now I'm just sat here crying. Do
you think that you're a striker away from being a really good team? Do you think that's all that you're lacking right now is that cutting edge up front?
I wouldn't even it would definitely help, but like if you look at last season, what we did with the same squad, essentially for some reason they decided to buy a goalkeeper and Kai Havertz, which is like near 100 mil. Like 60 mil and 30 mil for David Raya. Like, was that really necessary?
There's 2 things we miss. Was 3. There's Thomas Partey, like quick passes forward, quick progressive passes. Miss that because Rice is very good, but Rice is very indecisive. Like you can watch him, it slows, and then by then it's covered. Whereas Partey's firing between the lines. The other problem is the Xhaka role, like. He knew how it meshed, so you had that left side, Zinchenko and Martinelli. That was very fluid. But then there's also where it's now compact and we're like field tilt, what they call it.
Yeah.
Where you're pinning teams in. They're too structured. We're now at the point where this is why City went and bought players that can take people on, because you need people to just have some balls and run with the ball and like disregard structure and go back to organic football where it's like use your instinct. I know you shouldn't like play like that all the time, but you need that moment where someone's going to do that and create some movement so there's space and then you can get in there. It's what Liverpool do really well. You rotate out Salah, Nunez and Szoboszlai really well with Trent, and then it's just like it's chaos.
It's a really interesting insight, Ben, and I've got a few questions for you just off the back of that. Firstly, just on Partey, do you think that playing him in the position that you're now playing Rice, actually, and you put Rice in to where Havertz is playing, gives Rice the freedom to actually push upfield a little bit more and play that Xhaka role that he played last season?
Yeah. I think that was in the initial like plan to phase him into the team. And where Partey's just fallen apart, where he had no injuries for Athletic Madrid, comes to Arsenal and he's like...
He's made of glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then I guess the next question that I've got for you, it's less a question. So with the way that Arsenal played last season, no one expected them to finish where they finished, right? They were a bit of an unknown. This season, a lot more teams, they play, definitely not like a low block, but they play a deeper line, which means that Arsenal need to play through teams, right? You talked about Liverpool, and you talked about rotating Szoboszlai, Trent, Mo, and how that works really well. What we struggled with over the past few seasons is when teams stopped playing and just gave us the ball and said, here you go, try get through us. And I think that's what Arsenal is struggling from now. right? And it's the reason that you guys actually do well against teams like Man City and Liverpool, because they're not going to come there and just play a deep line. They're going to come and attack, and they're going to play football, which then gives you guys the license to actually, play through the lines, right? So it's interesting because like I said, we had that same problem, and this was after the year that we won the league, and we went through that rough trot of losing to like the teams at the bottom half of the league. A lot of it was because they said, "Here you go, play with the ball." But then all they did was got us in the counter every time, and they would take a 1-0.
Yeah. Well, I think part of me thinks the reason we looked so slow, or Arsenal looked so slow at the start of the year, is because they were trying to facilitate that behaviour. So by going a goal up or something and then letting teams play was, I think, the whole thing. You still control the game without actually having to have the ball. If you're that structured, then in theory, teams will then have to come to you and do that. But now teams have already sussed out. They're like, well, actually, if we sit in a low block, they're not quick enough to get the ball through us anyway. And then all they do is they just cycle it back and forth from wing to wing, like you were saying, Liverpool struggled with.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting. And I think that's the reason. You talk about being legless against Fulham. A lot of it was because Fulham played the correct game against Arsenal. They gave you guys the ball. I think it was 60% to 40% possession in the end, right? Gave you guys a ball, and then they hit you on the counter.
Yeah. Arsenal's thing as well is they've looked very tired. They're not... The amount of times that we've messaged each other and gone, why the fuck are you losing the ball?
Yeah.
You can see it. I don't know if it's a thing. I listened to another podcast earlier in the week, and they were saying that if you look at the Champions League teams, they have looked a bit gassed. Like Man City, have had their poor bit of form. We can laugh at United. They're funny, but... This goes back to Stru's point. He spent 30 million on a goalkeeper we didn't need a massive upgrade in. And yeah, we need to replace Xhaka, but did we need to spend 65 million on it? And I can see what he's doing, because he wants that someone to crash the box or be a false nine, which theory is good, but Xhaka was the opposite. Xhaka was never going to be the false nine. If shit went wrong behind him, Xhaka was holding mid or could drop in. So now we don't have anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. So,
it's tough.
Yeah, that was in the Premier League, right? So you had obviously the draw, then the 2 losses back to back. And then earlier this morning, it was Liverpool versus Arsenal in the FA Cup. 3rd round. Firstly, can we just talk about that? Why put 2 of the front runners in the competition in the 3rd round of the league competition? It makes 0 sense.
Yeah, no, I thought it was deeper in the competition just from that fixture, but yeah, that's...
No, it's the history. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is, it's stupid.
It's not. It's the oldest cup competition in the world. You need to respect it.
Fair enough. Okay, sure. Yeah, this fixture is great in terms of it gives a team that may not be in the Premier League a chance, because obviously Arsenal are now knocked out.
It's sad, but then if you look at the other part of the FA Cup draw, then there were no decent FA Cup fixtures. So it leads it up for the next round for that. It's frustrating that it's just they pitted Arsenal and Liverpool against each other.
Yeah, sure. So the final result was 2-0.
Yep.
2 quite late goals, an own goal.
1 own goal.
And then Diaz in the 95th minute of the game.
Bar hit 3 times, twice by Liverpool, once by Arsenal.
Once by Odegaard, yep.
Yeah, that's the slowest person to kick the ball.
Kai Havertz playing centre forward.
I don't have a problem with that. Just kick the fucking ball quickly.
It's a bit weird, eh? You got Nketiah on the bench. Is he not... what's the plan for the guy? If he can't start, that's his position. Is that on his position?
Well, the thing when Reece Nelson came on against West Ham, again, I'm going to defer to another pod, but they highlighted that that's the first time he started in a number of years for us.
Wow.
No, they were saying before that he hasn't started for Arsenal. So, why have they gone to him instead of Smith Rowe?
Yep.
And they also then pointed out...
Talk about a forgotten child.
I know.
Emil Smith Rowe, wow.
I'm so sad because... he's the one that saved Arteta's job that Christmas when things turned around, not last season before.
Yeah.
And now look at him, he gets 2 minutes at the end of an FA Cup tie.
Yeah, I wonder what the plan is for that guy.
I don't know if he's...
A lot of talent. He's still so young, but at some stage you think, how do you get him back into the team? It doesn't really look like Arteta's got much of a plan for him in that team.
But you'd think you'd put him in, if teams are pinned in, put him on in the Havertz spot.
Yeah.
If
run through the line.
Yeah, I don't know if
between the lines.
I don't know if he's just worried that he's not going to be able to track back or you're losing the height. But Smith Rowe's, I know he's not tall, but he's not short, and he's quite built,
quite stocky. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's true. Are you guys disappointed that you're out of the FA Cup? Or is it blessing in disguise? You can focus on the league.
Yeah, but that's like you go into every year. All big clubs you're gonna want to win every game.
It's a trophy at the end of the day.
Like, and the FA Cup, I think most people would prefer win the FA Cup over the League Cup.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the FA Cup is like, we've won it before and everyone shits on you for winning it, but when you win it, it's awesome.
No, it's great. Yeah, like at the end of the day, like you said, it's the oldest cup competition in England.
Yeah.
It's prestigious. You want to win the bloody thing. Yeah.
Some of the finals we've been in insane, like that Villa one. I think we were down 2-0 and we came back. Hull, that's the one.
Yeah, certainly because all the free kick.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm disappointed to be out of it. Saying you can focus on the league is just a bit of a cop-out, really.
I agree. I agree. And then one final question on Arsenal before we do move on. Consider a bit of a mini debate me question. Arsenal will go the year trophyless. True or false?
It's looking likely at this stage, to be fair. Well, they're not going to win the Champions League.
I agree with that.
And we're sitting fourth in the league now, 5 off?
Yep, out of the FA Cup and out of the Carabao Cup.
So
we need, it's looking unlikely.
We need Mbappe.
At this stage now, do you rather try go for the Premier League or do you rather go for the Champions League?
Once again, I think you just got to, like, you have to take each game as it comes.
Yeah.
As cliche as it is. You wouldn't like ride, and I know like no player or manager would be riding off a competition.
Yeah.
As we'd rather win this or this. Like, you're going to go for it. But I don't know. We got Porto in the Champions League. Like a couple of weeks ago, you'd be thinking like, okay, yeah, we should win. We might draw away and win at home. Now, like, who even knows? So it's been a tough month for the Gooners. Three losses on the trot.
Okay, enough of the fucking Gooners now.
Yeah, sorry, fans.
Yeah.
Did you guys see?
I guess moving on now, we'll look at Man City. So congratulations to Man City. They won the FIFA Club World Cup, a trophy nobody, I think, gives two Fs about. But they have the cool little badge now that they get to wear.
That's the only good thing about it.
That's the only good thing about it. Again, we spoke about Man City sitting third, albeit they've played one less game. Kevin De Bruyne is return of the king. He's back.
It's all over. Man City won everything.
He's back. Came back with an assist.
Exactly. Just going to say, it didn't take him long to register an assist.
He picked out Doku out of nowhere. No one's playing that ball.
Nah, it's ridiculous. And I'll tell you what, how good does he look with that new hair?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing before. Looks a lot better now.
So,
but yeah, it's a worrying sign for the league, I think.
It is because, they're only 2 points really if they win their game and have 2 points away from the top spot. And if there's any team in England that can go on a run and win 14, 15 games on the bounce to win a league, it's unfortunately Manchester City.
Yep.
It's coming. Doku's back, scores straight away.
Well, is that a sign of the link up to come? De Bruyne and Doku.
Well, one thing to talk about maybe for Man City is Phil Foden.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
Phil Foden is
killer form
at the moment.
Yeah, killer form.
He's got to start for England at the Euros.
Oh, it'd be outrageous.
Oh.
Like,
trust Gareth to do some rubbish, but honestly, he has to start.
He's not going to start, is he? It's going to be something weird.
It's funny we speak about Phil Foden because if KDB wasn't injured, I don't think Phil Foden would have even been starting.
He'd be on the wing. I think it's helped that the Alvarez thing petered out and they get a poor bit of form.
Yeah.
But we also did a pod earlier where we discussed what the fuck was Phil Foden doing at the Crystal Palace game where he booted.
Yeah, exactly.
He yeeted him at the end
of
the game.
He has it in him, doesn't he? He really does.
Do we think Man City are going to win it?
No.
You think you're going to win it?
Yes.
I'm keen for this game, 10th of March.
I have to back my team. We've only lost once in the league entire season, and that was to Spurs.
Did you see this coming from you guys?
Game. To be honest, heck no.
Sloppy start, weren't it?
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest start. I wouldn't say sloppy, Ben. It wasn't the greatest start, but I think the thing that gave us confidence was that Newcastle win where we scored those 2 late goals.
Darwin, wasn't it?
Yeah, away because St. James Park is not an easy place to go. And a lot of teams are going to struggle there this season. So that was a massive kind of momentum swing. But I tell you what has been the most impressive is Wataru Endo, who, funnily enough, was the Liverpool Player of the Month for December.
Was he?
The only player to start every game in December. And boy, was he fucking absolute warrior.
That's a bit of
games.
a turnaround, isn't it, considering what he was doing before?
Yeah, he got hooked twice before this rich vein of form.
Yeah, it's crazy. And a testament to the fact that you don't need to buy $100 million dollar or pound central defensive midfielder to have a star, right? It's all about system. And if you play in the right system, and if you've got a half-decent football brain, then you're going to be a half-decent player.
It is about team fit, isn't it? And then, like, you also credit to the team for, like, sticking with him. Easily could have been, like, pushed aside there, right?
100%. And the other thing that's probably the most surprising, Ben, to answer your question about did I expect this, is the fact that this is a completely new midfield.
True.
Completely new. The only player to really... A couple of players to have featured in last season's games would be Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, right? Obviously, Bajcetic is due to return, and Thiago hasn't even played a minute yet this season.
What's going on with Thiago?
Injury after injury, it doesn't look good. Apparently, he is due to return soon, and he's got
a hip injury, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's some bloody hip injury, but it's very timely because if he returns now, sitting in that midfield with how well our attackers are going right now, yeah, it's a great boost if you want to compete with City to lift the league at the end of the season. But just on the Arsenal game, really quickly, I was really surprised with the result this morning because no Salah, no Virgil, no Szoboszlai either.
Yeah.
Told you, mate, we defeat ourselves. Also, I said in the chat that Jota always scores against us.
Yeah, he didn't score, but he got an assist.
Oh, did you get an assist?
Yeah, he got the assist.
He hit the post as well.
I thought my live score said that, yeah. I swear when I looked at it.
He hit the post.
It was an own goal Kiwi or own goal header.
That was it. Yeah.
Own goal,
Sorry.
It was a Trent ball.
Was
it a free kick? Or?
It was a free kick, yeah.
I don't blame Kiwior for that. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. It's just one of those things.
And then it was 80th and 95th or something.
It was very late goals, yeah. It was 0-0 for quite a while in that game. But yeah, look, Salah's obviously away. Endo is currently away. But there's belief in the team. There really is. And long may it continue. I'll be interested to see what happens because without Mo, there's a few big games. I think Arsenal is one of those games.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all right, mate. We can't score.
Yeah, true. And also, just to note quickly as well, that Thursday we play in the EFL semi-final against Fulham.
He gets 2 legs to that as well.
There is 2 legs to that. So I've got another quick mini debate question. Who do you think will win the EFL Cup this season? There's 4 teams left, obviously. So it's Liverpool versus Fulham in the first semi-final.
Fulham.
And then Middlesbrough versus Chelsea in the second.
Fulham.
Ooh. I can low-key see Chelsea winning it. I don't know why, but I'd think Liverpool would rightly be favourites.
Yeah, I don't know. If Liverpool and Chelsea end up in the final, you end up playing them twice in a short space of time, don't you? Or no?
Was Chelsea your first game of the year?
It was the first game of the year.
It was a draw, wasn't it?
1-1 at the bridge.
It was 1-1 at the bridge. And funnily enough, when in that quad season, when we were chasing the quad and we won the 2 cups, it was Chelsea that we versed in both finals, both 0-0s and both won in penalties.
That's right.
Yeah. So I could see another Liverpool versus Chelsea final here. I could also see another 0-0 Liverpool Chelsea final here.
Yeah, you got Chelsea at home on the 1st of Feb.
Yep. There you go. And then EFL Cup will be, I think, closer to the end of the Feb. So
Bournemouth away in the league as well.
Which isn't an easy place to go right now because Bournemouth have hit form.
Yeah, they're way more organised than they were.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to say, if I'm honest, because I don't know. Like, we've seen Man City go through their shit patch, Arsenal in a quagmire. Liverpool... Yeah, Liverpool kind of... They haven't had a massive dip in form. Will it happen? Remains to be seen. Spurs had their dip. They're 3 at home.
Yep, that's true. They did.
Could still happen again. Who else we got? Aston Villa. I can see eventually they're going to get tired. You can already start seeing some of their games. I don't know. We've seen what happened with Man U. It's so hard to tell.
Who do you think is the strongest to win the league right now?
City, probably.
City, based off history and their squad depth. And plus that you never know if Pep's going to change things like he did last season where he put Stones in to hold him mid. Yeah, that really fucked people. They're just so strong. They're physical as well. But then Liverpool's front 3 are insane and Alisson is the best keeper in the league. In the world, yeah.
Yeah, in the world.
Sorry, I forgot because Premier League's Super League. Yeah. Well, maybe we should touch on the bottom of the league.
Yeah, sure. I think we definitely should.
Give the fans what they want. Everton talk. Saying that, it's the usual suspects at the bottom as the newly promoted teams. Sheffield's still at the bottom. Burnley, Luton, Everton. But the surprise is Brentford is only 4 points above the drop zone.
That is very surprising, actually.
And they've lost 5 in a row.
They've lost 5 in a row now.
Yep.
Brentford.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That is very surprising.
Gee, Tony will be a welcome addition, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
When he finally comes back. He played like a 23s game or something like that. I
He
saw
scored a
some
hat
highlights
trick,
of it.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Banged him in. He's such a unit. But then you've got some teams in there I wasn't expecting. If we were to go back at the start of the year, we looked at Wolves didn't start very well, did they? Bournemouth definitely didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Kinda.
And funnily enough, Wolves and Bournemouth are two probably of the most formed teams in the Premier League right now. I know that Bournemouth just lost to Spurs.
Fulham were before the Christmas period, because just before then they lost 3 in a row and then they beat Arsenal.
That's true, yeah.
They pumped before then. They pumped a couple of teams.
They had 5-0, yeah. They had a couple of those, didn't they?
Trucking along nicely, but then they recently lost. They lost over the Christmas period. It's so tight.
It's wide open, isn't it?
Yeah. Where do you
Wide
think?
open.
Quick question: where do you think Newcastle are going to end up? Do you think Eddie Howe deserves to keep his job at the end of the season?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think Eddie Howe absolutely deserves to keep his job. I think with Newcastle, they've been struggling because of injuries. And even through all of that, Eddie Howe still managed to get results, which is testament to the manager. And it makes you think, right? They also haven't really started spending like we know that they're capable of. Getting Champions League last season, albeit now they're obviously out of the competition, but it was a massive, win for Newcastle at the time. Again, testament to Eddie Howe. So I think, he's done enough to keep his job. But obviously, once they have a full-strength team, once money's been pumped in, they're going to want to see results. And these cup games are the ones that you think they'd probably want to start looking at trying to win before they start really trying to push for the Premier Leagues and the Champions Leagues and whatnot.
Do you think owners would see it as a failure if they didn't qualify for Champions League again? Because it's a ruthless fucking business.
That's a fucking good question.
It's a great question. I think yes, but I think if you put context into it and then you look at the injuries and how badly they've been struggling because of injuries, then I don't think so then. Obviously ambitions do change as and when the season progresses, right?
Yeah.
But they're a project team and Eddie has a project manager.
I wonder if they'll get anyone in, or if they've been looking at players in this window.
They still have Tonali to come back from suspension as well. Obviously, I don't think he'll be back this season, but next season.
Yeah, they just got the injuries. They just get overrun down the middle, though. People just go through them.
Yeah, that's true.
But someone at work we were looking at XG earlier. Newcastle has the second highest XG in the league, so or is it XG conversion? I think it's XG. So even though they're conceding a lot, you even saw it against Liverpool when they got battered.
What about that game in the XG? Liverpool had like a
record
7 point something XG in that game.
It's something like the highest since 2007 or something like that.
Ridiculous, yeah. Which is crazy. Like Liverpool have won games 9-0 recently with the lower XG.
Just goes to show like how knackered and depleted Newcastle are they.
Yeah.
They need a holiday. They need 2 weeks off.
They just need players back from fucking injury, man. Once they have a team again, they are a team.
It's true. Maybe we will have a little break in a moment, but last thoughts quickly. The Chelsea renaissance, is it actually happening? We talk about this every couple of weeks where we think they're coming back, they're back from the dead. Are they back from the dead? Is Nkunku good and going to save them? Tell me more.
Put it this way, they won more points in December than Arsenal did.
Who didn't?
Yeah, it'd be an easy thing to do. They did lose to Wolves and Everton.
True.
And United.
Oh, yeah, they did lose, didn't they? Jesus.
But they beat Brighton, Sheffield, Palace and Luton. It was obviously a very busy December, but I think they'd take that.
Where are they sitting? 10th?
10th, yeah.
Yeah. Same amount of points as Wolves, right?
Correct.
28.
Both on 28.
Yeah.
What about United's goal difference, though? -5?
Well, who is it? There's like Luton has scored more than them, and some others as well.
Far out.
I don't know. Do you think now Ineos is here for United? Do you think Ten Hag's time is nearly up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because on previous pods I said, no, he's going to last till the end of the season. But obviously with new ownership, it does put a spanner in the works. At the end of the day, like, it's funny because I remember looking at the 2023 overall points table across Europe, and I remember United sitting like 5th in terms of how many points they had attained across 2023 across European top 5 leagues. And I think it was like 113 or something. And then Man City were top, obviously 140 something, right? So they weren't too far off the pace in 2023 overall, which is very interesting because a lot of noise around in Manchester United indicates that they're fucking shit. And when you look at them, they're pretty shit.
Yeah.
But then how did they manage so many points last year?
Yeah. I honestly, I don't understand it. What's the case for him staying? Like, what case would you state?
Yeah, look, I don't know. They're already 14 points off the top of the league.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3 wins out of the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big bridge to climb. Considering Liverpool's probably going to Liverpool, City. You could say Arsenal might dip, but look, they're probably not going to. Like, they're not gonna make top 4. If they don't make top 4, there's no way he's got a job.
There is absolutely no chance in hell Manchester United make top 4 this season.
And that's it. So, like, I don't understand how he does keep his job. And Sancho's going back to Dortmund apparently?
Yeah, on loan. I saw that, which is very interesting. But again, probably a sensible move for him and United, because obviously it's a relationship that never worked out.
That's a dead end there.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Sancho, it'd be nice if he grew up. Like, you've got the world at your feet. Just fucking get off your PlayStation and just go to work.
100%.
I think he could have.
He has the best job in the fucking world as well.
I know. Like, how are you not excited? What on earth goes on there to not be excited to go play football?
It's a joke.
It's just sad, really. My biggest thing with them, if like you were looking at it from Ineos perspective, is there's 2 parts of it. Like, why have you invested in some of these players like you have, or gone to bat for them? So, like Anthony, for instance, like Casemiro last year worked out. This year he hasn't really got going. He's been injured. Fair enough. Martinez has been good. But you go and buy Højlund for that money, but then you have players that don't service him. Like, the guy, feel sorry for the guy because he has all that pressure on him to score, but he gets fed nothing. And surely as a manager, you're playing with 10 men, like playing like that. So,
I agree. Do you think like the Sancho situation, do you think his attitude's a reflection of the club situation, or do you think he's just always been that way? It could be like we're never going to know.
I think it's half because like you've had the thing from Matic before, haven't you, where he said that I've never been to somewhere where they're so irresponsible and careless.
Tardy.
Yeah. Unprofessional.
Yeah, that's the word.
But then you've got the thing where Sancho had the issues at Dortmund as well, where he was a man-child.
Honestly, I think the writing was on the wall ever since the Ronaldo debacle.
And they all blamed him too.
Because they all blamed him.
That's so true.
Yeah, and it's funny because you do year-end comparisons and then you look at where they were with Ronaldo and where they are without him now, and they were in a much better place with Ronaldo in the team. He was scoring hat-tricks. He was getting winners.
Yeah, he was winning them games.
Yeah, literally. Well, single-handedly winning the games.
And that's the mentality, right? They don't have that.
But he was the problem. I just don't understand it.
Well, maybe because,
It's just a scapegoat thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And to answer your question, I don't think Ten Hag lasts the season now.
who replaces him?
Honestly, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would do a better job.
I think you're right.
Dust him off,
you're right.
bring him back.
Bring him back. Ole's at the wheel, mate. Let's go. Let's do this.
Well, maybe let's leave the listeners there with that thought, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back with some Euro roundup and whatnot, and then we'll kick on with Debate Me Softly.
Sounds good.
Catch you on the other side.
Welcome back, people.
We're still
Welcome
here.
back, people.
Yes, we've made it through the misery part of the pod,
What was that, Ben?
Arsenal. And we're into the happy European continent now, where everyone shits rainbows and butterflies.
Is that what happens in Europe?
It is exactly what happens.
I should venture out there.
You should. I think you are this year.
I am indeed.
There you go. I will see you there.
Can't wait.
You know what is this summer?
Euros.
Yeah.
Keen.
You going?
Well, I tried to get tickets to the semis and the finals. I put myself into a draw, but unfortunately I wasn't successful. So I got to try and get tickets via GoGo now.
Oh, it's going to be pricey.
Yeah, heck yeah. But semifinals and finals in Germany, the competition is held this year. So that hopefully will be very exciting.
Quickly to both of you, if you had to pick a team to win it, who's going to win it?
Good question.
France.
Oh,
You said that so quickly. Spain.
Spain?
Yeah.
Don't Spain usually, haven't they previously left in the group? Didn't they leave last time group stage?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to have... Is it Pedri's done his ACL?
Pedri, Gavi.
They got Morata up top. They're not winning shit.
They are.
No.
Okay, fine. If I had to pick actually... Look, France are a good shout. I'm going to say Portugal.
Oh,
Nice.
I like that pick.
Yeah, nice.
I can't argue with that.
You have to back...
Someone has to say
England, mate.
Yeah.
You have to.
Don't tell me what I'll have to do.
You have to.
Fine, I back England.
Because it's fucking coming home, mate.
Mate, I'm tired of saying it's coming home because it doesn't come home. And then I'm like
it doesn't.
The little dog at the door waiting.
It should have in 2021.
Yeah, the delayed Euros.
Yeah.
You should have done.
It should have.
Yeah, it should have.
It makes me wonder if it's... no, I shouldn't have passed a generation by. I know the defence is shit, but if Southgate takes the shackles off...
When Luke Shaw hit that ball into the back of the net, did you think it was your year?
But it was very early in the game.
It was very early in the game.
Long way to go after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
So the moral of the story is football's not coming home in 2024.
Home is where the heart is.
Fair play. Which for you is Portugal.
I used to love them as a kid. Honestly, especially like the Joga Bonita times. I loved them.
Figo.
Yeah.
There you go.
What a player.
They were just fun. I'm trying to think of his name. I'm going to mispronounce it, so I'm not going to bother. Anyway, moving on to other stuff. If we want to say Struan's pick, we could probably start off with the French League.
Say that again, mate.
Oui.
Carry on.
So, yeah, we still have France at the top of the league. France? Fuck, I'm cooked. So what happens if you give me sweets at the start of the pod? PSG are France.
Correct.
Started to edge away a little bit, five points ahead of Nice. Not much has really gone on, apart from the little French Cup thing, which happened. And we all saw Mbappe. Did you see Mbappe's reaction?
Threw a little tantrum.
Yep. When does he not throw a tanny?
Would you like him at Liverpool?
I would love the player. I would hate the person in terms of morale. The quality of the player, anyone in their right mind is going to say yes.
No team's turning him down if
Correct.
he wants to come.
But you talk about morale and how important that is in a squad. Like that one toxic person is enough to ruin it.
Yeah.
He is very toxic, isn't he? Which is sad because, what a fucking baller.
Fucking what a baller indeed. Jeez, man. Just quickly, same question to you.
What?
Would you take him at Arsenal?
Yeah, no.
Interesting. What about you?
I would take him.
Yeah. You're lying when you say nah.
Same answer as you, really.
Yeah.
Cop out. Like,
It's fair, though.
imagine having to fucking deal with that guy.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Especially having a manager like Arteta. There's no...
Oh, mate.
One of them's gone.
100%.
And Arteta's probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You're signing up for a world of pain. We'll touch on the transfers in a moment, but good luck. Other things to note, lucky that Man U probably aren't going to get Champions League football because Nice are second. Monaco are not far behind in third. But we did mention Lyon before, where we were mentioning that they were rock bottom of the league and what happens to clubs like these, multi-ship ownership. They've since rattled off 3 wins.
There you go.
So they're now in 15th. So
Yeah, right.
Out of relegation zone.
exactly. Vive la France. No, you shouldn't give me sugar.
Bloody hell.
I've been on a sugar ban for a little while and
That's why.
now I'm G'd up.
He's
Sorry,
wired.
Caroline.
Yeah. I'm already annoying enough as
Or
it
the
is.
other way around. We're sending We're sending this home to her.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, sorry, Caroline.
Yeah, apologies.
I apologise to future you for future me behaviour. Anyway, jumping around to another league whilst I speak a lot faster due to sugar intake. Inter top still, but Juve 2 points behind. Then the rest is like Milan and Fiorentina. Then there's a melee below that. So Bologna there in 5th. I don't know if you've seen anything to do with Roma and Napoli.
The only thing I've seen about Roma is not about Roma. It's the supposed Jose Mourinho documentary that's
I did see
coming
that.
out.
Yeah.
Not coming out or being filmed.
Is it actually?
Apparently so, yeah.
I feel like that would be so cool.
Be so sick to watch, 100%.
Do you reckon it's like based on him at Roma?
I think so.
Yeah?
I
haven't looked.
Because he's in love with Roma. Like,
Are they
you
in
hear
love with
some of the
him?
quotes. I think so.
Mm.
Like, he talks about the passion. You seen the thing when he promoted the youth players because of the injuries?
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, just saying that they don't care about money and stuff. They're diehard Roma
Yeah.
kids and stuff. I don't know.
Which is funny because that was his biggest problem with United, right? With the youngins.
I'm starting to wonder if the thing with United was just
United.
the place is a bin.
Yep. Fair play.
Yeah, because what's his comment?
Yeah.
Greatest achievement is finishing second.
Second.
With that team.
He doesn't speak too fondly of those.
This is the same bloke who fucking won the Champions League with Porto, so that's saying a lot.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was pre-everything, though.
Yeah, true, but still.
Yeah.
That's an achievement.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Do you reckon he'd ever become the Newcastle manager? No?
I always talk about that though.
Nah, I think if he's going anywhere, he's going Chelsea.
You never know. You never know what these owners are up to.
You never know. He's right.
Yeah.
You never know.
Could you imagine him clashing with Big Todd over the transfers? Like, he's like,
If
Todd,
he was
why
at
have I got
Chelsea.
5 new players?
Yeah.
What am I meant to do with these? And then old mate is like, you need to play him.
Todd needs a little puppet almost, doesn't he?
Poch.
Somebody's just and Poch is that man.
As
I
if that
guess,
wasn't
right now.
Graham Potter.
I think that was probably his plan, right? But that didn't work out.
No, I think they just wanted to, they thought they were going to make quick money by just getting the Brighton model, Brighton
Yeah.
2.0.
Facts.
Didn't age well, did it?
No.
Something which does age well, though, is Harry Kane. We're now in the German league. Leverkusen, what are they?
Top of the league, undefeated.
Still undefeated in all comps, right?
The only team left in Europe undefeated in all competitions.
Do you think they win anything this year?
I hope to God they win the Bundesliga.
Same.
I hope to God.
I really hope they do. I think that'll be so fitting for Harry Kane to leave Spurs trophyless and go to the best team in Germany. How many years have they won in
10,
a row?
11 maybe.
And then for them to lose the league to Leverkusen, but they're playing well enough to go on. And
At what
win it.
point? At what point do you say it's a curse if he goes on to beat Lewandowski's record?
God, that would be so painful, wouldn't it?
Because the trajectory that he's on, he's going to go beat the record. But imagine they don't win the fucking league.
And then even possibly the Euros
I think-
again.
Well, they've played one less game than Leverkusen, so this is Bayern we're talking about. They're 4 points behind, so they could be 1 point behind. I think they still have to play each other again.
Mhm.
Is it inconceivable that Bayern win the Champions League instead? Do you think they will win? They could win the Champions League?
I
Yeah,
think
they
can win
could.
it, yeah.
Tuchel.
Yeah, he's a bit of a tournament guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting. Dortmund are way off the pace, by the way. They're down in 5th. I
15
think.
points off the top.
What's going on with them?
Sad to see.
They've drawn so many games. 1-7, drew 6, lost 3.
At what point does the model of buy and sell catch up to them? Right? They buy like young players, young talented players. They build them and they sell them for a dime, right? But ultimately you got to reinvest that money back into quality players. You can't keep at it buying these 17-year-olds and then going and selling them like they do.
I think they had a real long golden patch, though, looking at the talent that came through.
100%.
And now maybe that's just fallen away a little bit. Like, I think it topped with Bellingham and fucking Haaland being there.
I think Leipzig is that new team.
True.
Yeah, there's more teams to compete with hoovering up the young talent and taking a gamble on it. Because you're seeing it, you already see that's the Real Madrid model, isn't it? They go out there and they go and find the youth South Americans and stuff, or like the Turkish guy that had his debut at the weekend.
Yeah.
What's more important to you two, a team full of superstars or a system that works?
Well, we ain't won shit in a while. So
true, but take your Arsenal hat off for a second and just look at it purely from a football perspective.
But
would you rather a team of 11 superstars or a team of 11 individuals who are well managed, well coached, and play a system that works effectively?
Who's the last team of superstars at club level that won anything?
What does it look like?
Barcelona 2015.
Yeah, but they had they had both worlds. Like, you look back at that, the system was not played anywhere else, and they had the individuals to do it, and that was unreal. I don't think you're gonna see that.
Barcelona 2011.
Yeah, I don't know if it works as much. I think you need a solid balance of both. I don't think you can have a team of superstars because everyone's got their own. They're all just like look at Mbappe,
PSG,
like tantrum after tantrum. I don't know.
It's hard to say. The things that used to get me through some of the shit Arsenal days where we'd hope to finish fourth is the fact that we played sexy football, and it made me excited because I didn't know what I was going to get. I was going to get goals, but then I was also going to get emotional damage from watching some horrific defending.
Yeah. So forget about 11 superstars and just say you got two teams. On paper, one team looks better than the other, right? But the other team is just better coached. Which one would you rather?
I think there's a huge importance on system.
Maybe this is a question for another day, but it's starting to come down to the system. Well, the Pep theory versus the Ancelotti theory, because they have contrasts and ways of styles of managing. One is go out. Here's a rough blueprint of this is what you should do, coach wise, but it's not what you have to do. Versus Pep or lots of the Prem is this is the system. You must be here.
Yeah, I think it's problem solving on the pitch, right? I think Pep does a lot of the problem solving for the players, whereas Carlo says problem solve, this is the game plan.
Do you think this
is more of a license that way?
Well, do you also think this is leading to less talented footballers? Is it diminishing the product?
I don't think so. I personally don't think so, because I think the game's getting quicker, the game's getting more skillful anyways. It's the management that needs to adapt to how the game's changing.
But when you watch it, do you see the flair and skills that you used to see from some flair players,
like a Ronaldo
5-10
or something
years ago? Yeah,
it's a good point. Short answer, no. But then you have players like Jeremy Doku who come around and has the ability on the ball. Maybe there's less of an importance these days on flair, right? And I guess also it's context plays a big part. If you're growing up in Brazil, you're probably going to learn to play with a bit of flair, right? Whereas if you're growing up in England, it's probably not as important, would you say?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, in England it's changed a lot, because when I was a kid it used to just be the big kids and hoofing the ball up.
Yeah.
Or pinging it out to the wing back and
Sean
then
Dyche,
drilling the ball. Yeah, it was very horrific.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot better. But it's definitely it's not the flair of Brazil and stuff.
So the reason I asked the question about team of superstars versus a team that's well coached is because that's exactly how I look at Leverkusen versus Bayern Munich. Right? You have a team on paper who should win, and a team who is set up now effectively and is designed to work, and it does work. Right? So which one would you take to win the league now? Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Do you think Bayern are too strong, or do you think Leverkusen are too well coached?
I think Bayern will be... I do, unfortunately, think Bayern will be too strong in the end, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him hold on, but I can see the wheels falling off. How are they going to react when they finally lose a game, if they lose a game?
True. It's a good point. Also, they are playing in Europa League as well, right?
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of pressure as it comes down to the back end of the season, if they go far.
Which you would assume that they do go far, considering they are undefeated.
What do you reckon they'd rather win?
Probably the league.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
It's so hard. Do you think Alonso ends up at Bayern at the end after this season?
I pray that doesn't happen.
I
pray that doesn't happen.
It'd be sad, wouldn't it?
I would hate that, especially after... Well, I wouldn't hate it, but like especially after Madrid has re-signed Ancelotti, I think 2 more seasons.
Yeah, 2 more seasons.
So he's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Brazil are fuming, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's quite funny to watch. Talking of Brazilians, a team with lots of Brazilians in it. We're now in the Spanish league. Real Madrid sit top, level on points with Girona.
Yep.
Barca third, love to leak a goal. And guess who's fourth? They're from Basque country.
Athletic Bilbao.
Wow.
Yes. How many goals have Real Madrid let in this year?
Well, I know, so I'm not going to say.
No, do
You told me like 2 minutes ago.
Don't spoiler alert. What the fuck?
I feel like I heard it. Is it 6?
Nah.
Nah, wrong league, mate. Wrong
Is
league.
that PSV?
Yes.
10?
Yeah.
Yeah, 11.
11.
11. Only conceded 11 goals. Considering half their team have lost an ACL this year. Well, their defence anyway. Courtois. My information here goes down the pan because I know it's a defender. Or there's 2.
Is Kepa still their keeper?
Yep. Done all right, hasn't he? What a time to escape.
Left Chelsea, sitting fucking in Madrid. Jeez, not bad at all.
Yeah, he'd be loving that.
Yeah.
Girona's still level top. That's awesome. They had a really crazy game over the past few weeks. Was it the Atletico game?
The Atletico Madrid game was
Yeah.
wild. It ended up 4-3.
And it was the first time in their history that they beat them.
Was it?
Didn't know that.
That was a good game.
Well,
Crazy.
End
Do you-
to end.
do
Was
you
it
s-
Murata hat-trick?
yeah.
Murata hat-trick?
Did you
Yeah.
see the
hat-trick.
Did you see the goal? The winning goal?
Yeah, yeah.
Or the defense just I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Well
Yeah.
taken though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, just runs into the box and puts it top corner. Talking of people that we might need to put things top corner, let's talk transfers.
Let's do it. I love this time of the year, transfers.
It is quite interesting.
It's so much random shit to talk about. So many discussions about players going here. What if
Yeah.
a manager goes there? What happens to the team? And we've seen so many times like 3-way transfers have also happened where like 2 players will switch between 3 clubs.
Yeah.
There's only one place to start with transfer talk for this window, and it's one Kylian Mbappe. I think, can you name the last window where there hasn't been Mbappe rumours? I genuinely can't.
I think there's been like 3 change of decisions in one window.
Yeah,
Like he's
correct.
leaving, he's staying, he's leaving. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
So at the time of recording, where the fuck are we at, Stu?
So I've seen something now in the past few days. He's going to Madrid. Apparently, he's announced that he's going to Madrid at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm trying to look on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, because I saw something where he
It's
said
Twitter.
Is it still Twitter?
No, it's X, but it's Twitter.
X.
Oh, the domain's still Twitter actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, unless they own both.
They would.
Now do I press x.com? What comes up if I put x.com? Hang on.
Explicit
Oh,
images.
I'm going to pause the laptop in case it comes out of anything crude. Oh, it just comes up Twitter. Sorry. Sidetracked. Well, I saw something where he said he was pissed off with Madrid and won't go there because they keep putting pressure on him to sign a contract. And then a day later, I saw that thing earlier that I sent you both where it was then he's now confirmed, apparently, that he's signed for Madrid.
Madrid's his only.
With all due respect, Ben, he's not confirmed until he's holding the fucking shirt next to Perez.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think there's no one I've seen that I wouldn't. It has to be. He has to be there.
Yeah.
Like I want to see the contract.
Yeah, because until that happens, he's a PSG player.
Is there anywhere else he'll go to though?
The
I feel
only
like
other
Madrid's the only place he'll go.
the only other rumor is Liverpool,
Yeah.
right? And it's a stupid one because we
It's
can't
too
afford
much,
him.
Yeah.
It's free as well, isn't it? He's
Free?
out of contract.
Yeah, he's out of contract, but his wages,
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
will be through the fucking roof. I think ultimately he will end up at Madrid.
Yeah.
It just makes the most sense. They can afford him as well.
Who do you prefer, Salah or Mbappe?
It's such an easy question. Do you even have to ask?
Well, one is 31
Yeah,
and the other one is 25.
I would absolutely prefer Mo Salah.
Fair.
I want him to retire at Liverpool. I don't think it'll happen, but I want him to retire there.
Where does he go then?
Surely he'll go Saudi.
Saudi. If he's not going to play for another team in Europe. He's going to go to Saudi.
He'll be like the next face of Saudi, man.
Yeah, how's that? It's not really working though. There is it. Like they're not.
But they're not going
They're
to stop.
You reckon they're
It's
just
a money
relentless?
pit. Like they don't care if they. It's
Yeah,
like
it-
endless money.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
It's not going to end.
It won't end. Yeah. This isn't like a
Unfortunately,
China
will
all
not
over
end.
again. Because China, at the end of the day, they ran out of money. This isn't the same.
I think if anything, you're just going to see players going, and we've already started to see it, players going earlier in their career as well. Like there are some young players that have gone overseas a lot earlier than you think
Ruben
they would
Neves
have.
shouldn't have gone. But funnily enough, speaking of Saudi, there was a rumor that came out, I think a couple of days ago, saying that Jordan Henderson, wants to leave the Saudi Pro League to return to the Premier League.
Would you take him back?
No, I wouldn't take him back. That doesn't mean I don't love Hendo and everything he did for the club, but I just wouldn't take him back.
Who is a better captain, Henderson or Gerrard?
That's a really hard question. I think Henderson was a more successful captain. I think Gerrard was a better captain because he's a Scouser.
And a better player too.
You discriminated on the pod.
So be it.
Just got us cancelled.
One of our own.
Not even going to make it to episode 10.
Oh, well. This was fun while it lasted.
Do you think what kind of club do you reckon would take a Jordan Henderson?
I think like a West Ham would take Jordan Henderson.
Do you see Firmino is linked with Fulham? Do you reckon he can end up there?
I hope that doesn't happen.
Liverpool rejects, like Fulham. With Willian.
Yeah, jeez.
Fucking hell, it's like a retirement club.
Another one that's quite interesting. So just quickly, just on the Jordan Henderson thing, do you think he will return to the Premier League?
Well, they can... The Saudi leagues, can they be loaned to the Premier League now as well?
Yeah, Newcastle. But I don't think Newcastle would want him.
I can't see him going to Newcastle.
I think it's going to be a sell back to a Premier League team.
I can't really see anyone.
I think the other thing for Jordan Henderson is, and it's very timely that he wants to return to the Premier League, is because he wants to play in the Euros.
That's a very good point.
Maybe Gareth's in his ear.
Perhaps, because the one thing he did ask Gareth before going to the Saudi Pro League was, will it ruin my chances of playing for England?
What did he say?
Apparently not, which is why he went. But why is he returning now?
Does he get a game for England now?
In a Gareth Southgate team, yes.
Yeah,
In
right.
any other manager, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Just another one. Timo Werner, we did speak about it briefly in a previous segment on today's pod, is going to Spurs on loan. It's a weird one. Yeah, no ob to buy. Timely with, like we said before, Son going to Asia Cup. And Timo with a lot to prove in the Premier League given his last stint at Chelsea, and let's be honest, it didn't really work out. But Stu, you said it before, if there's one man who can probably rejuvenate his career, it's probably Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah.
So that will be very interesting, and that's now confirmed, right? He is on his way.
Done.
Yeah, it's done. And another one back to Spurs is Reguilon. Do you see that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he cut his United loan short.
He did, yeah. So he's returning back to Spurs, which is interesting. Is Luke Shaw fit, ready to play? I'm assuming so, which is probably why he's returning back.
Who initiated that?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm actually
not sure myself, yeah.
I can't spell his name.
Reguillon.
Yeah, that's it.
Found it. Talk about something while I look this up. Help me.
Sure, I'll tell you what we can talk about until Wayne Rooney got sacked from Birmingham City.
Yeah. Did you see his son had like some leaked messages with someone
Whoa,
saying...
I didn't see.
It was just about like, the players didn't buy in and the owners didn't give him enough time and this and that. Yeah.
Interesting. So Birmingham City were 5th when he took over. At the time he got sacked, they were sitting 20th in the league.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's horrible.
Goes down to another decent player that's not a very good manager.
So
let's
count now who's on the list. So there's...
You got, let's be fair,
Lampard.
We've got Lampard, we've got Gerrard, we've got Rooney, we've got Thierry Henry. Sol Campbell had a funny stint.
You can throw Gary Neville in there.
Gary Neville. Yeah.
It was Gary Neville, though, world-class player.
Oh, okay, we're talking world class. Okay.
That's a whole different question.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, maybe not.
Just don't give me sugar next time I do a pod.
Now, of all those players, name the only manager of them to win a league as a manager.
Fucking here we go.
just name him.
Thierry Henry.
Shut up. That's not the right answer. Your right answer is Ben.
Sol Campbell.
Yeah, okay, Sol Campball. The correct answer is Steven Gerrard. That's who.
Gary Neville.
Yeah, with Valencia.
On Football Manager.
Oh, jeez.
Just found out that Reguilon had his agreement terminated by Man U.
Interesting.
So I wonder what that says for his career, really. Because Tottenham didn't want him.
He came from Atletico or something, right?
Ooh.
Something like that. But anyway, he's not that great, is he? He's pretty.
He's not been
squad
great.
Player kind of.
I think they paid a bit of money though. I'm going to go on Transfermarkt. What other transfers are there?
Hannibal for Manchester United. Apparently a loan spell to Everton.
Interesting.
Yeah, one on the cards. Hasn't been confirmed, but one that Fabrizio has tweeted about recently. So one to look out for. And Paulinho from Fulham.
I saw an article where Bayern said they won't pay more than 60 million for him.
That is, I did say the same thing. The interesting thing is Andre from Fluminense, who Liverpool had scouted for a very long time, is actually on his way to Fulham now. So it seems. It hasn't been confirmed. But that opens the door for Paulinho, who wanted to leave at the end of the last transfer window, to go. He was due to go to Bayern. Everything had been done. He'd done the media, held the shirt up and everything. And then it fell through at the final hour. So it could be potential. It could go back to Bayern, but interesting and one to look out for.
Interesting. Do you think Paulinho is worth 60 mil? Would you pay it? Because we've discussed this before on the pod.
We have.
What's the value of a Holden mid?
And that was going to be my answer. My answer to that was yes, he is worth 60 mil, because if Caicedo is worth 115, so is Declan Rice, then Paulinho is worth 60.
To be fair, Declan Rice has justified his price. Caicedo and was the other one Lavia
Lavia hasn't even played a game.
He's been injured.
Yeah,
he's got gammy ankles.
I agree. Declan Rice has justified his price.
Transfermarkt has Paulinho down at 60 mil euros.
How old is he?
28?
Yeah, 28 is correct.
That's a bit old, isn't it?
29 this year in July.
60 mil. It's a fair bit.
Interesting.
He's good though.
Probability of transfer to other teams, 33% Arsenal, 25% Bayern.
33% Arsenal. Are they front runners? That's come out of nowhere. No, I definitely didn't see anything about that.
I don't know how they get their source. Oh, it's one source from some random website. So, yeah, I wouldn't really take that as gospel.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And finally, to round up transfers for the week, we spoke about it before, Sancho to Dortmund. So he's leaving the curse that is United behind him and hopefully returning to Dortmund. And let's be honest, I want to see him do well. What about you guys?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see him. Good for him if he can regain his form. He's still so young.
Yeah.
I think he thought he had his dream move to United, and then whichever side it was, or if it's equally blamed, just never worked out.
Yeah.
So. I've got a game for you both.
Go on.
Guess the market value of Jadon Sancho.
Oh, wow.
25 mil.
Nah. It'd be...
You reckon still in excess of 50?
Yeah, I was going to say 50 or 45. 40 or 45.
25 mil.
What?
No way. I got it bang on.
Yeah. Do you know what his highest ever market value was?
110.
It's true.
Maybe 90.
130.
130.
Wow.
Back in 2020.
Wow. Talk about a fall from grace.
And then he got bought by United, didn't he? What, 90 mil?
Yeah,
Euro?
some shit like that, yeah.
He's 23.
Yeah.
He's 24 in March. I really hope he gets his shit together.
How old is
what
Saka?
A waste. 22.
Or something? Yeah, 22.
Puts it into perspective, doesn't it?
Mm.
And I think, Ben, to your point, it comes back to attitude, doesn't it, in many respects? Because look at Saka.
Yeah.
Star boy, and even though he's pretty shit at the moment, not scoring goals and
he's
not doing much, but still,
Torrid.
like...
Gassed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs a spell.
I think they all fucking do. I think Mikel needs a spell too.
Well, on that note, let's wrap things up.
Let's do that.
I've run out of sugar now.
Yeah.
Back to reality, are you, mate?
Yeah, I was like, the fuck?
Crashing hard.
Yeah, well, on
You
that
remember
note,
the last half hour?
yeah, well, I'm probably going to play back and listen to me ramble on about Euro.
Yeah.
Sorry to the listeners if you make it this far in the pod, but hopefully we see you both back next week for more fun.
Yep, absolutely. I enjoyed this. It was good to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Great to be back.
And see you on the next one.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
We are out. Yeah.